So, a young girl of marriageable age, young Indian girl, she came to us to ask about the most popular question we almost deal every day is when will I get married? Okay. She had gone to many astrologers, many tarot card readers, and she researched endlessly online about the marriage timelines or when she would get married because two three of the astrologers had given her a certain timeline and still the timelines were missed, and irrespective of all the auspicious timelines affecting beautifully her seventh house of marriage and also the second house of her chart, her birth chart, her marriage did not happen. Okay, whenever she tried to communicate for a marriage proposal, it either did not work out or the guy backed out, or sometimes she did not like the proposal. This went on for about 4 to 5 years. So she was crossing her marriage age. She came to us for Akashic records reading, and now listen what happened. During the Akashic records reading, it was very interesting case again. What was revealed was, I saw a nun was waiting at a particular space in the Akashic when I was channeling the information for her, and I saw there was a nun. Okay, so I went ahead and I asked, why are you a nun? Okay, and that's the story got revealed further. She had consciously chosen to be a nun. And who was this nun? This was the same lady who came to us, the same girl. Okay, so this is about 16th century Vatican Church, and she was being placed over there, and she had voluntarily become a nun there. Okay, I had to do another reading because this was revealed in part 1, like in the first level reading. So when the second reading was done after a couple of days, like usually there's a gap of 10 to 15 days to see the next reading. You can't see all the levels in one reading itself, right? So what was revealed was that she was actually an English lady. Now this is a story in continuation to what happened, like why she chose to become a nun. Okay, so because she told us that why she had become a nun, right? So this girl was happily married. Okay, she was a Britisher, and we also got to know the address. I'll tell you, it was somewhere on Parkinson Street, North Carolina, and she was very happy. She was a very very good cook. She made a lot of baking, cutting vegetables. She loved cooking, and she was living in a very big mansion, and that property was gifted to her by her father. Okay, her husband was a property dealer, and he was a very angry person. Okay, he used to constantly make losses in his business, and his sales used to not happen that frequently, but irrespective of all the financial tensions, she used to be always happy. She used to make sure that her house runs well. Okay, one fine day, she got dressed up. Their bedroom was on the first floor. She got dressed up and she came down to make the meals for the day, and she was very happily cooking her meals. And out of nowhere, suddenly her husband came in, and he was in a very 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 angry mood, extremely angry mood. He gave her some papers and he told her that to sign it, and it was nothing, none other than the papers of the same property where they were staying. So he wanted to mortgage the property, and later his plans was to sell it out. Okay, because he had a loss in his business and he wanted that money to fund his business, right? She refused. She said she won't sign the papers because that was a gift given to her by her father, and that is the only thing she had. And actually, her father had warned her not to marry this guy because of the temperament issues, because of the anger issues that he had. Now, something very terrible happened. He was so angry, he just took out the same knife with the vegetable that she was cutting, right? And he slit her throat. Okay, then he pulled her to the ground floor bathroom. Now this was all seen. Okay, it was very very tragic to see all this happening to the client. Okay, and she was crying, she was sobbing, because she could feel all this, right, while I was telling her that all this was happening. Okay. And this guy, he broke her leg and he threw her in the bathtub, in the ground floor bathroom. Those mansions had big bathrooms and bathtubs, and that mansion was so away from the city. It had a lot of lush green backyard. It was a very beautiful place, but there was nobody else. So even if she tried to scream, no one could hear, because there was nobody miles away. There was nobody over there. So this guy was so ruthless enough. He killed his wife on the spot. She had broken bones. He mercilessly killed her and took away the papers, and he did what he had to do. So when the funeral was happening, okay, her soul was standing right over there, okay, and he has shown this whole incident as an accident, okay. And they did all the funeral, and she was standing right there, and she was feeling so bad. She was feeling very bad. So she decided that she will not leave the place. So she just stayed. There was a fountain there just outside their house. It's a white color, white ceramic fountain. Okay. uh, she said that she will always stay there on that land, but in the next life, okay, she said that I will become a nun. I don't want to move on in my life. I don't want to get married again in my life. I will always remain as a nun. So here we had to do the clearance in two parts. We had to first clear the her attachment to that land, to that property. That was done. And then we also went up to another life when she was born as a nun. So we cleared from there. Okay. And there was another story that was getting complicated with the story of being a nun, that she was abused and she had also carried a child, which she had dumped it. So she had a karma for that as well. So that also we cleared. So this was taken a little bit longer session, like 3 to 4 sessions she had to take, because there was a lot of things, a lot of karmic baggage to clear. So all that was cleared, and then finally all those lives, those situations were cleared. The karma was cleared through the Akashic records, prayers and healings and affirmations. She's much better now, and she has got a nice proposal. And interesting part is that she's gone back to the States after marrying a very nice guy, and in this life she's got a cool headed husband. There is no traces of anger, touch wood, and so far her marriage is fine. So this all was revealed in the Akashic records reading. If you have patience to go through different lifetimes, which again it depends from case to case, whatever your karma is, whatever your situation is, it may not necessarily solve in one session. It might take 2 sessions, 3 sessions, 4 sessions, sometimes even up to 10 to 12 sessions. It all depends upon how much baggage is there to clear. Okay. So if you are interested to get your records read, and if you have resonated with this information, do connect for Akashic records reading. Bye bye.